Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I can't believe that we have not gotten into a subject that I get complaints about constantly. That is welfare and fraud abuse. And I must tell you, in all honesty, that this goes back beyond the Wolf administration. I can remember when Governor Corbett was doing his first budget, and there were many of us who brought this issue up, and we were told that the problem was of such a great magnitude that they could not get their arms around it, that they needed to have more time to get their arms around it. Well, obviously, we still haven't gotten our arms around it. I come from up in the coal region area. We've had occasions where a chief of police pulls over a car, chief of police from a small town, illegal aliens in possession of access cards, neither of which were in his name. Can you tell me, how do we verify citizenship in terms of access cards?
So for folks who receive benefits, there, as I've mentioned a couple times, there are a series of electronic database checks. There are also documents that folks have to provide to show that they qualify for benefits. So that includes information that verifies citizenship. I'm obviously not familiar with the particular example that you cited there, but for the process when folks apply for benefits, there is a very thorough process where folks have to go through, provide certain documents. We can provide you a list of them, but there's also I think there's about a dozen databases that are checked with that person's information to verify everything from wages, citizenship, identity, all those sorts of things.
Can you tell me, in terms of investigators that do welfare fraud in the Inspector General's office, can you give me a number as to how many of those gentlemen or ladies there are?
Office of Inspector General is separate from the Department of Human Services. The Inspector General might be a better person to give you the exact figures on that.
So then I'm going to just quickly, the other, the number of investigations, the number of prosecutions, the number of convictions, and how much, maybe this one you could answer in terms of how much has been recouped.
So I mentioned a little earlier in our testimony that 95% of our budget actually goes to providers. There's actually very few dollars that go to individuals. So most of the work that we do in program integrity is with those incorrect payments to providers. Last year we recovered $648 million in incorrect or fraudulent payments. This year that number is trending towards $705 million, and that would be, I think we haven't seen a higher number. And we're looking back, we haven't seen a higher number than that if we do achieve that $705 million. So there's been a lot of changes just in the 2 years that I've been here in terms of investments in staff, investments in technology, the use of data analytics to really make sure that we have our, as you put it, our arms around the issue. And I would also say that it's important to remember that the percentage of folks who engage in fraudulent activity is just a percentage of the folks. The overwhelming majority of folks who receive these benefits, and there are many people in Pennsylvania who do, are folks who are vulnerable folks who need help, and our job is to provide those services.
And exactly, Mr. Secretary. My point is that, and I will ask those other questions of the Inspector General's department, but my very point is, we're hearing today of all the people that genuinely have needs that we need to help. There's nobody in this room that doesn't want to help people who have genuine needs and who need our help. But I think that we need to do our most to be certain that we're not getting scammed. So thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.